Hello, and this is the Young Sound podcast for the Friday Real-Time group, and we're going to be talking about mental health and those sorts of stuff, like how we can improve and how to talk about it and such. So, with me here today, I'm David, and then to my left is Ben.
Hi.
And there's Skylar, and there's Holly.
Hello!
And there's Lake now as well, and then we've got David again, and then we've got Darren.
Got Darren on the technical side, which is all cool.
I think we should just get on with it then. So, what sort of stuff helps with your mental health? Then it is really.
What's the first topic?
Well, things that help improve your mental health.
I think kind of all of us sort of in this room would say music, in some way, shape or form. What else? Anyone else got anything they want to pitch in with that helps mental health?
Music.
Music, yeah.
Art, being in the fresh air, just in general, you know, meeting people.
So like socialising, meeting people, hanging out.
Socialising.
Yeah, nice. Anything to these guys here? Nah, you just want to say tight-lipped, cool.
Yeah. I think it's just creative stuff for most of us here. Like whether that's songwriting or covering tunes or just playing some chords on a guitar or skelting a few drums. It's just...
Yeah. You do musical theatre as well, and like,
Yeah,
you said,
a lot of
like,
people-
that helps a lot.
A lot of people find musical theatre quite helpful as well, so...
What is it about that? Is it like the crowd aspect, is it?
I think it's more when you find like a character that you relate to.
Yeah.
It's like you're singing their songs, so it's brilliant. Anyone else get anything?
I feel like doing volunteering out with the Friday Young Sound actually does help, because I'm putting something in to just kind of help out, and as well as like even playing my guitar in the house as well, that does help because I'm learning something new.
You're trying to like change someone's sort of day and like how they're perceiving their day. That's a really cool thing to think about.
Drums,
You guys got anything, Davey?
drums is a good one, because you know, if you've had a bad day at school, you can just go on the drums. I hate my
Yeah, you just
teacher."
want to thrash it.
You can really beat it all.
What's your favourite song to drum along to?
Well, my favourite drum song, probably Breed by Nirvana.
Oh yes! The like massive
That's
drum,
a mental
the
song.
massive snare at the beginning. Yes. Dan, you're a drummer as well, so...
Oh, and I'm a metalhead, so anything that involves very much large hits is my kind of thing.
Yeah, some blast
Heavy
beats in there and
lifts.
everything.
Songs that make my face crunch up, that sort of thing.
Songs that literally break the snare.
While we're on the subject of songs, one of the things that we were talking about earlier is tingly songs. So songs that send a shiver down your spine the first time you hear them. So is there any songs like that you guys know? It doesn't have to be like the first time you've heard it, but every time you listen to it, there's a wee shiver that goes on in the back of your spine.
Yes! For me, it's not really so much a song, it's like probably an entire album. But
That is fine.
the Kanye West album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that whole album, like, for some reason, just sends like shivers down my spine after shivers.
Do you have any idea why?
I think
Is it the how full it feels? Is it the lyrical content? Is it
it's literally the whole package, in my opinion. Like there's like a concept to the album. There's like a whole storyline. There's features after features after features, so you're never getting bored listening to one thing for too long.
brilliant?
Like it's perfection. Like the opening song like has like an entire choir on it, which is like the coolest thing ever, because it sounds like it's like so like together, and like there's so many like, people like just like singing the hell out of it. It's
love
so
that.
cool. And yeah, listen to Kanye West and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's what I'm trying to say.
A good recommendation. Anyone else?
Yes, so...
No one cares about your opinion. Next. Right, hang on.
Right.
Right, go Lee. Go on.
now,
Tell us.
right. So, as everyone in this room knows, we all know the song "Help" by the Beatles, but
Bang up.
I don't know if anyone's ever heard Oasis's cover of it in LA.
I have not. Tell me about it.
So like fuzzy and just like floaty. It's like there's no. Unfortunately for yourself, there's no drums in it at all.
Hate it. Move on.
Like,
Wow.
it's just
So what is it about it that really
It's-
speaks to you?
Instead of Help is a very fast song. It's incredibly hard to play in general for the drummer and the guitar and the singer. But the Oasis version is like so slow. It's like half the time. Like it's just so slow and so melodic, and it's Gallagher's
Sounds
done
beautiful to me, mate. I'm gonna have to
Gallagher's
listen
done
to
a
that now.
brilliant job of it, really.
Right, Skylar, what you got? Any songs in particular?
Mama by My Chemical Romance.
Some My Chemical.
What's it mean to you then? How does that improve your mental health when you listen to that?
It's the vocals.
Yeah.
It's the vocal range. It's absolutely amazing.
I have to agree.
It's just the way that they can change the pitch of their voice so well throughout the full song, and it's like, I don't know why, but see, like it's as if it's like explosions at the start of the song that just adds like a whole new scenery to it as well, and it's absolutely an amazing song.
Beautiful.
In my opinion, I'd probably say that's one of the best My Chem songs off of that whole album, and that album is pretty much godly.
It's a good album. So anyone else got any tunes before we move on to our next topic?
Sgt. Pepper, Lonely Heart Club Band.
Woo!
That's the best album ever, surely.
It is very good.
Especially Day in the Life with the verse. That's the
Ben,
one for me.
I seen your hand go up there, Ben. What do you
Mine
think?
is Hang Last Time by Loose Ends.
Interesting. I don't think I've heard that one. What is it about that?
I just...
Does it just make you happy?
Yeah, it does that.
I mean, that's the bottom line if it makes you happy.
Shine On You Crazy Diamond, Pink Floyd.
Oh, nice. All
Good choice.
A man with
parts
taste in
are-
this room. A
Right.
man with taste.
So, moving on from that, we've all got some really good taste in music, I found it. So that's the kind of stuff, you listen to music, it really brings up your mood. So what we're going to talk about now is, I want to know what your guys' opinions on mental health compared to physical health would be. So obviously, you break your leg, you see the bone, oh god, I need to go to the hospital. But if you wake up, you feel a bit rubbish, it's a wee bit more difficult to express those feelings, and there's still a lot of people out there, at least in my opinion, that maybe don't value mental health as importantly. So what do you think about that?
I'm very clumsy. I've spent countless amount of times in A&E for my physical and mental health, and I think every time I've ended up there for my mental health, it's always been like, you're fine, it's cool, what you're saying isn't actually that important. But if I came in with like broken fingers, broken collarbone, which I've done before unfortunately, they're like, oh, we need to actually get that seen to, because if we don't and it heals the wrong way, then it's done. But then why do they not do that for your mental health as well? It's like they don't take you seriously at all,
thing
in
is,
my opinion.
With mental health, like it's been a thing that people have struggled with and like had to deal with like for centuries and decades now. But like over like the last couple of years, we've actually started like talking out about it and speaking out about it, which is so good. And like doctors and people were actually starting to try and treat it and stuff. But like it's not nearly made the advancements as physical health has.
No.
Yet.
No.
Which is honestly ridiculous.
I think that's a really good point.
I mean, the NHS are underfunded, and I know I feel like
underfunded, overcrowded, like
Understaffed.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. It's genuinely depressing to like be a young person and think hey, what if I need help, like, and I need someone to like talk to me like about my mental health and like how like dumb my brain's being at this point. But like if I go and speak to a doctor or someone in a ward and you feel guilty for that because you're taking your bed away or you're taking something away from someone that's like actually physically done something to themselves, which is so dumb because like they're literally just as important as each other, if not more important in my opinion.
I think that's a really good point to make, because I've definitely had that experience as well, where you feel guilty if you're taking up resources for someone with a physical problem, but your problem is just as important.
Yeah.
It's like a year ago in a few days I ended up being admitted to hospital because of my mental health, and when I was lying like in the bed and stuff, I was looking around in this ward and I was like, oh my god, like these people are so unwell, like why am I here? I'm not unwell, I'm fine. And then when I came out of hospital I was like, yeah, no, I was not fine. But it's like realising that it doesn't really matter if you've broke your leg or if you've had a mental breakdown or whatever it is that's happened, it's like it's equally as important.
The thing is, you're not going to feel embarrassed if like you break your leg or something. You know, you're probably going to go to your mates like a couple of weeks after and be like, yo, I broke my leg and that was like, the most rad thing I think I've ever done. But like, you're not going to go to your mates like a couple of weeks later after the event and you're not going to say, hey, I had a really serious mental breakdown and it was like the best thing I've ever done. And it's so dumb because it's like, there's so much like stigma like surrounding the whole thing. And there's so much like, you know, misconceptions and like, I think that's very much what we need to sort of
absolutely.
talk about.
Right, Dave 1 and Dave 2, you've been quiet for too long. What do you think?
I think like we've came a long way for breaking the stigma for mental health and talking about it, but we've still got a really long way to go until like it's the same thing as going to your GP for having a bad cough or something. You just can't do that, don't you?
Although they'll not see if you've got a bad cough in this day and age.
Yeah, exactly. You get a Zoom call or you get a 3-second phone call.
No, I'm kidding on, but aye.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
That is
You
awesome.
don't get seen anymore.
You
Right.
genuinely don't.
What do you think,
What about
Dave?
Dave 2?
You got anything to add to this topic, or you?
Cams in particular don't have a lot of money, and
No, they don't.
they just
Yeah.
it's like 8 weeks or something they give you, and then they just chuck you out basically if you've not got a diagnosis.
Fair enough.
Very,
Right.
very
It's-
correct, mate.
I think
Trans are
I think
terrible with trans kids as well.
Yes.
the bottom line is the medical services are very much underappreciated for
Mhm.
what they do, especially they don't have the equipment or the expertise.
They just don't have the funding anymore.
Yeah.
But where do you get that funding?
However, on that topic, we're going to segue that into the good old COVID and how that has been heavily impacting your old mental health. So who's going to kick this one off?
I only kicked this one off because I had the Rona 2 weeks ago.
Alright, everyone needs to evacuate.
Same.
Oh, be
See-
quiet. But I stay in university halls, and my university room is small. I could not leave said room for 7 days, and it drove me up the wall. Like, just seeing the same 4 walls constantly.
Yeah.
It's such a small room, and people don't understand how small uni rooms are until you've stayed in them for 7 months.
Yes.
But yeah, anyone else?
Right, Skylar, what's up?
Skylar?
See, when COVID started, it started just before my 14th birthday. So I spent my 14th in lockdown. I also
that's
spent
rough.
my 15th in lockdown.
Yeah.
It was quite brutal because I didn't actually get to see my family. Also, I've not got COVID once, so that's a plus point.
Wow.
Spent all this time in lockdown, I guess I didn't leave the house for something like 3 months. Not even for a walk or go to the shop.
So obviously that had only a slight impact on the mental health, I imagine.
Just a
Just
bit.
a little bit.
But yeah, it did affect my mental health majorly because I was seeing the same faces in my family like every day. Like, I didn't like that. I like my family, but I don't like seeing them every day. Like, for that length of time every single day. And it was just repetitive. Or get up at stupid o'clock during the day, watch YouTube or TikTok or whatever
Yeah.
for like 9 hours maybe.
It's like all you had back then was like the wee stupid TikTok challenges.
Yeah.
And you can only do so many of them without actually wanting to drive yourself up the wall.
Basically, sleep, eat, TikTok or YouTube,
Yeah.
sleep again.
Yeah.
That's
literally.
Like, I had COVID as well, and for me, I adapted to it in quite fast. You know?
Yeah, you think it went by fast, like the time you spent in quarantine and that?
Like, I just basically sat in my room the whole time. Then my dad got it, and then, you know, we were in close contacts. Like, one night he said, do you want to come in my room and watch the thing? And honestly, I felt like I was going to cinema, and he said, that's at 9 o'clock to watch it. I felt like I was going to cinema. And that, like, well, obviously I wasn't, obviously, but that was what it felt like. And then I got food delivered, so like got up and mum was sitting out to get food, so I was at McDonald's. Like, I tried that new chicken Big Mac, so that was a plus side to it.
Suppose that is it. I've not tried
That's
that
like the best bit about having COVID
Yeah.
within your like household, because at uni halls people can go out and come back in if they've got negative LFTs. However, I was not that lucky when I had COVID because there was only 2 years in the flat, So I done all my cooking.
Let's say.
This might be controversial, but
Oh, God,
I actually really loved the lockdown months.
Of course you did. Actually, no,
No,
I
right,
agree
like,
with
here's the
that.
thing, right?
I agree.
I feel like with the lockdown months, like, I actually had time to, like, take care of myself and, like, you know, not want to, like, drag myself out with, like, you know, trying to make sure that, like, I'm hanging out with people and I'm doing schoolwork and I'm, like, you know, making sure that everything's, like, good and I'm, you know, taking care of music and it was horrible. So, like, with lockdown, like, I was actually able to, like, you know, take a step back and kind of go, hey, listen, we're going to take care of myself, we're going to be in here for 3 months, we're going to do nothing.
I feel like the
And it was
weather-
the greatest experience of my life because all I did was really do, like, these podcasts with Lake.
Yeah, that was a sick time.
And, like, it was such a good time and I miss it. And I genuinely think that we should have, like a month every year where we just, like, allocate, like, hey, stay in the house, don't do anything.
I feel like
That seems like such a vibe. And, like, since COVID has ended, like, ended in quotation marks, or, like, you know, since, like, we started, like, being able to do stuff again, my mental health has gotten so bad because now I'm going back to, like, that place of, like, constantly being dragged out and not sleeping and, like, all of that stuff. So, like, bring COVID back is what I'm trying to say. I want COVID 22. That'd be great.
Well, preferably not that, but I understand what you're trying to say, and I want to quickly make a comment before Dave carries us on. Because Aaron's not with us today, but he brought up a very interesting point. Aaron was really likes the gym, and during COVID he obviously couldn't attend gym, but he found that by innovating his workout to being in a house, so instead of doing like your arm crunches and using machines and that, he did some like home stuff, so pull-ups and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
got some equipment. He actually he found that he was in the best shape of his life because of that, and I think that was just down to experiment. You had the time, you had the time to do that and try new things and that, and I think that's an interesting thing that someone actually came out of it the other side of COVID actually improved and improved on their what's the word I'm looking for, exercise and that. They actually came out the other side and there are things innovated that's changed for the better. So anyway, sorry Dave, you had your horn up like a school child. Tell us what was you so desperate to say?
I think a big point for COVID was like people's balance kind of went off the scales because you could only do one thing, and that was like play video games and watch TikTok, and that really messed with people's minds. I think spending all day, I don't know, it makes people really anxious. I think when you're stuck watching TikTok or Instagram every day, all day for 8 months
I did
straight.
music the whole time.
These are all putting your hands up like this is a show and tell.
No,
Just
but
talk.
I don't want to talk over anyone, but I was just going to say, I feel like the first lockdown, the weather helped
Oh
so
yes.
much.
Definitely.
Like, see if it hadn't been raining every day and like...
That was what the second one was like.
Yeah, the second one was horrible because of that, but the first one, like, if you weren't an only child or you lived with other people, you could go out, like, the back if you had a back garden and, like, kick a ball about or have a barbecue with your family and that.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was sick.
we done that a few times. And I felt like it like went one of two ways with people. If you had a good relationship with your family, you could be sitting playing, this is what I'm getting to, you could be sitting playing like cards or like board games or having wee quiz nights, but if on the other hand, if you didn't really go with your family that well, I feel like people just sat in their rooms and didn't really do much. But then if you've got good pals around you like I did, we had like wee quiz nights and we had real time
Social nights, quiz
real time
nights,
social nights were brilliant.
podcasts. Genuinely, that was like the stuff that like got me through it all. Like, and I made an entire EP, and during COVID, like, and I still haven't released it at all.
Why have you not released it?
Partially due to anxiety and partially due to the fact that I've left it for so long. Because now I go back and listen to it, like, it's actually really good. It's actually really good, but it's not what I want to be making now.
Okay.
So if I feel like if I released it and then someone listened to it, if someone like listened to it, like, and then like, hey, I'm expecting new music from Harley, like, you know, like next month or something, and I make something, and they listen to it, they won't enjoy it anymore. So I want to make the stuff that I want to make now instead of releasing something I made 2 years ago.
You still did something extremely productive and made an EP during COVID, which is amazing.
It was a 7-song EP.
Seven tunes. That's
Yeah,
all.
and it was called I Want to Kill Myself. It was
maybe.
7 songs.
Oh right. I get so all the
Yeah.
songs were called like.
That-
But it
is-
wasn't actually about like wanting to kill myself. It was like every single one of those songs was like a different thing.
Right.
It was a very cool concept.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll play it for you at some point.
I feel like during lockdown, like my mental health got progressively worse throughout the different lockdowns. But I think as I lay in bed more, like depression really started to hit, you know?
Yeah.
And then the laziness started to hit as well.
Oh yeah.
So I just kind of lay there day by day thinking, what am I actually going to do? And then it just got to the point I didn't actually want to leave my room.
The days just get longer, don't
Yeah.
they? It's like as soon as you lie in your bed, the days just get longer and longer.
It
Yeah.
drags in and it's just.
You lose track of time, really.
And it was like we were all still in school at that point. Like I'm at uni now, but I know yous would all still been at school. And it's like they're putting up team stuff and you're like that.
My college didn't really bother with all that. Like I left school before lockdown, so like my college they did like resumes, you know, to say hi and catch up with you, like, you know,
Yeah.
in the afternoon and all that. But you know, because it wasn't that long to work, because college finished before the schools, obviously. So like it didn't really bother. So I just, you know, like stayed up till like stupid o'clock in the night, you know, watching, you know, stuff with my sister, like Bad Girls, you know, on what do you call it, Netflix and all that, and then till like 4 in the morning, not get up till like 1 in the afternoon. It was just like
Yeah.
lazy. It was
I actually got into a relationship, and I'm still in that relationship, so I deserve a round of applause for that one. Thank
You're
you.
not getting one from me for that.
Hey, give me a round of applause, okay? I've been in a relationship with someone for like 2 years next week.
Oh, actually,
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Thank you.
Am I?
Right,
So-
but I actually started going out with this person the day before Boris Johnson told us all to stay at home.
That's rough.
Yeah.
No.
So, for the first...
Stay at home, but don't stay at home.
Yes.
Stay at home.
Uh-huh. But if you have a job, then don't stay at home. But you can go to your
stay
job,
at
but
home.
don't stay at home, but stay at home.
Anyway, what's the point?
So we actually started going out the day before Boris Johnson told us to stay at home. So we spent 3 months pretty much exclusively like talking to each other like via like
Online.
FaceTimes.
Aye, online.
Yeah.
The long distance relationship
It
experience.
was weird though, because it was like we were like 6 miles away from each other.
It's rough, man. Aye.
So like, and like at that point, remember like, when they added like you were allowed to travel, but you were only allowed to travel 5. And like I was like, can we like, just skip a mile? Like,
Rough.
I would have did that. So
yeah.
Please don't admit to. No, I'm kidding.
Like no, when you look back at the rules. now,
Yeah, like
when
looking
you look-
back at the rules is the weirdest thing ever. Like you're just like, I went through that.
you're like what did we do that for? Like why? Like you would think I can't believe I did that for what, 2 years or.
Yeah.
Boris Johnson can go
It's
and
just-
have wine and cheese.
It's just come up. It's just about 2 years. What? Next
Yeah, so
week,
2
actually.
years next week because
Oh,
me
actually-
and Sam got together on the 22nd of March,
What's it like?
and that was the day before Boris hit us up.
That's fine.
The 17th of March, 2020. There
Yeah.
was an announcement about COVID.
And
And that's 2 years
Slow
ago.
down.
and it's St Patrick's Day. That's how I remember because my gran's birthday. That's how I'll always remember that. Like
Yeah.
I thing with dates. You know, I remember stuff like that.
This girl, you were like, you can talk by the way. You don't need to like wait.
You don't need to like put your hand up, okay? Like we're not
I
like
really
5 and we're not in like
I
class.
do as well. Don't worry. about it. Go.
But like, I'm not the same as you. I got together with someone during lockdown in
Yeah.
2020, and I'm also still with them.
Whoa!
It's 2 years on the
Got things.
30th of April. It's also their birthday the day after. Kinda didn't plan things out properly there because I'm going broke. So get them something for our birthday and their anniversary. Anyways,
How many pills do you have there, Davey? I'm sorry, this is entirely unrelated, but
but like I think the last time we saw each other was December as well. Because like they don't stay very far away. It's literally like, I don't know, like Wisha kind of area.
yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, because of lockdown, we didn't get to see each other till after we were together like a month. So
So how do you,
Man.
just because we're talking about it, how do you think COVID and all that really, like, does it put strain on that kind of relationship, or do you think it actually helped?
It helped.
it helped a little bit because but like the not getting to see each other kind of thing.
The
That affects
was
it
it absence makes the heart go fonder or something?
That's pretty much what it was, yeah.
Some Shakespeare stuff there, but aye.
Like,
We Shakespeare other.
yeah, we spent pretty much the entire summer together, me and Sam, and like it was genuinely the best summer ever, like in my opinion. Like that's just pure nostalgia to me now. Like I listen to any of the songs that I listened to at that point, like, and I'll be like, oh, no way! Like,
Yeah, just pointing out how
takes
bad
you back.
buses were during lockdown. They were absolutely shocking.
What is it?
Like buses. Trying
Oh,
to bus
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean they're still shocking, let's be real, but
Aye. Right, so one last topic before we shut off for the evening. I wanted to see what your guys' opinions were on how easy is it to talk about your mental health? How, like, whether that's to a professional or to your mates or to your folks or to someone you really care about, how easy is it for you to talk?
can I read this one if that's cool? I feel like the more you talk about it, the progressively easier it gets. So taking that first sort of step into like saying, hey, I'm going through like such and such a mental health thing, like the easy, like that's the hardest step, and then you find yourself kind of going, hey, maybe like I'm learning to kind of walk in, I'm learning, how to kind of deal with it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And like the more people you talk to, the more sort of help and advice and sort of notes you'll get from other people, whether they've dealt with the same thing or whether it's professional, whether it's like a family member who's like, hey, listen, we need to talk about it, like, or whether it's something like as stupid as like saying to like a teacher or a lecturer, kind of like, hey, this is how I'm feeling about it. And it's definitely a thing if it gets progressive. It's so much easier to talk about it.
Yeah.
Especially in today's society where we are actually learning more about mental health and we are actually learning to discuss more about it as well. So
Yeah, I feel like because I lied about it for so long, I lied about it for a really long time. After I did just tell everybody everything, I'm kind of just an open book. Like, I don't really. It's not that I don't care as such, but I don't. Like, if someone comes up and asks me, hey, this, I'll reply. Like, I don't, it doesn't really bother me to reply about what's happening and stuff. So I feel like it's easier after you've took that first step, as what Harley said.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else got anything to add to that before we wrap this up?
The first step's always the hardest, because it's, I don't know, I don't really want to see like other people to see me like that, but it's really important to just get out there, and I don't think people really like think of you as bad as you think they would if you talk to them about it. But if you get out there, and then if they really do like just like love you and all that, then they'll support you through that, and you just kind of have to go for it and knowing that there is help now.
That's it, mate. Aye, so I saw it. That's
if people don't support you in your mental health and your mental health journeys, they're probably not good people. That's how I feel about it.
aye, to have you in your life. That's it, mate.
Yeah.
So like,
And it's
you got to
entirely okay to cut them out if that's not.
put you first is the way now.
Yeah.
It's important that if you feel embarrassed to tell someone about your mental health, that's something that you need to maybe have a wee think about. Right, Scarlett's got something to say, quickly.
I do find it quite difficult to talk about my mental health because, like, see, my family hasn't always been like the biggest supporters, to put it nicely. But when I'd like come out to my family about stuff, like about being non-binary, my family still doesn't accept it to this day. But they don't know things have changed. They're not knowing because they're not going to accept it anyway. And yeah. But when my mum was first found out that I had like really bad mental health, she'd took privileges away on my phone and everything. So if I was having like a really bad night and I was thinking about like doing stuff, I wouldn't be able to talk to anyone after like 10 o'clock at night. So I think that made my mental health progressively worse as well. So I stopped talking to my family about it because there's no point in talking to them about it, so I'm just going to make it worse. But talking to my friends about it, they understand because most of them have like mental health issues as well. And they are probably like bigger supporters than my family.
It's rough, man. There tends to be a group. I feel like there's a lot of uneducation. That people need to be educated that mental health is really important, and whether they think you're being dramatic or they think you're trying to crave attention, that's usually not the case. It's a very small minority of people that will do that if you're upset. But on that note, we're going to have to wrap it up there today because we're running out of time. So this has been the Mental Health podcast. Cheers for tuning into the Sound Minds event. Hopefully you could relate to some of the stuff we've been talking here today. This has been the Young Sound Friday group, which are better than the Wednesday group, but don't quote me on that.
Look at the Wednesday group.
So I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you have a good night. I hope you've enjoyed the rest of the event, and take care of yourself.
Bye.
Wednesday sucks. Pass it on.
They don't really.
No, they do.
No.
They're good.
Yes, they do.
Good night.